An Indonesian ghost movie that promises to be scary. I'm down for that. Technically, a sequel to the 2019 film, Makmum 2 continues to explore the idea of the Makmum, a wandering spirit that interrupts a Muslim's prayer time. Yes, this is a religious horror movie. Yes, it is heavy-handed with the religious themes. And yes, it's worth a watch. Hi, I'm the Arty Dans from the We Love Asian Horror channel, and I welcome you to this video, where we will take a look at the 2021 Indonesian horror film, Makmum 2. Rini and her son Rafiz return to her hometown village to mourn the passing of a relative. As is Muslim tradition, they need to pray for 7 days before the body is fully buried and she can return home. The village has a few secrets. The first, not really a secret, is that the village chief refuses to allow the local electricity company to connect their village to the grid and modernize. He fears they will be bullied out of their farmland, as has happened in other villages. The other secret involves something called the Forbidden Forest, and a young boy with a limp that no one other than the children of the village, including Hafiz, can see. While playing with the village children, Hafiz wanders into the Forbidden Forest and falls unconscious after a bout of violent fits. His mother, who we find out is able to see spirits, notices that a Makmum is following her and appearing more frequently, especially during prayer time. She concludes that this spirit has something to do with what happened to the children and uses her abilities as a kind of spirit medium to find out what she wants and how she can stop her. If there's one thing I've really enjoyed recently about modern Southeast Asian horror films, it's the village settings. We've seen it in a few films, such as Malaysian Chiller Soul and the Indonesian hit film Impedigore. The village settings allows the filmmakers a valid reason to ignore things like mobile phones, police response, the internet, and other things that might help the characters out. Instead, it just pits them against nature and knowledge, and in some cases creepiness, of the village inhabitants. This is why the movie goes to painstaking detail to emphasize they have no electricity and no mobile phone signal. If anything, it's overdone, but the worst thing is that the filmmaker doesn't really seem to do anything with it. There's a hint of corruption, but that's about it. It's a plot idea that's there, but really goes nowhere interesting. Something I'm not familiar with is the Muslim religion, so everything I experienced in this film was new to me. It's strange, as initially it felt like too much religion. Characters were always praying or blessing each other. There was an emphasis on the holy book teachings, and the subplot of the movie revolves around the construction of a new mosque in the village, and how it was possibly the reason that the spirit from the Forbidden Forest was appearing. But then I remembered popular Catholic-themed movies, The Exorcist and the recent Conjuring series, and there's a strong emphasis on praying to God and religious iconography, and I realised that if that never bothered me, then this shouldn't either. And by the end of the film, it didn't. But is this movie really any good? The idea of the spirit feels original to me. It doesn't look original, and I was afraid at one stage it was going to turn into a pocong, a shroud ghost, popular in Indonesian horror cinema with the Pocong franchise. But the filmmakers slowly built up the introduction of the spirit. We see it first in the opening scene during the reflection in a mirror. It's a blink and you miss it kind of scene, but a taste of things to come. As Rini spends more time in the village, the spirit makes more and more appearances, including a very clever scene where the camera is tilted on a 90-degree angle and it slowly pans between Rini and the spirit. Creative and impressive. This was something I liked. What I didn't like was the rather average CGI effort. There are times when it's really noticeable, such as when the face appears on a static object for a brief moment, or the scene where the tree is cut down. It looks fake, but thankfully they used CGI for that scene. There's no need to cut down a tree just for a movie. The other element that threatened to break the immersion of the film was the spotty acting of the children, especially during scenes where they are showing fear and when they are having their fits. Rini doesn't fear much better in her fear scenes, but at least they're better than the children. If you're wondering if you need to watch the original film before watching this sequel, it doesn't appear to be the case. They only seem to share Rini as the main character. There are no flashbacks or references to the events from the previous film, and Rinny's not really given much backstory, especially when it comes to her dead husband. This is one of the better Indonesian horror films I've seen in a while. It's not perfect, but if you're after something a little light and a bit different, then this is a great recommendation. Using my still patent pending ghost rating, which stands for great horror or stupid trash, this movie scores 3 ghosts, meaning this film is average. There are some chilling scenes, but it's not an overly scary film, and the CGI might take you out of the moment at certain times. But I think this is worth a watch. If you've seen it, what did you think of it? Thank you for watching this video on the We Love Asian Horror YouTube channel. Please press the like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more Asian horror movie related videos, and check out another video by clicking on one of the links on the screen.